Welcome back to another episode of the Philosophy of Chillin. I'm your host, Demo the Connect, and we're back. It's a new season, if you all have not noticed, but even if you have, this is a celebratory moment. We hit 26 episodes, so the way I want to lay out this platform is significant to moments in my life, and 26 is a big number that reflects a lot. And after every 26th episode, it'll be a new season, a new level of beginnings, a new level of experiences, conversations, everything. So who knows? But I appreciate those who are back. Today I want to talk about a topic, conversation that is a little nerve-wracking for me. Only because this conversation can go so many ways. It can go so many ways, bro. And I had interviews lined up. Because also I skipped a week of uploading. Like I've been late before, but I've tried to release video to the closest time to the date I say that I would release it routinely. And I think this was the first time where I was like, I could have been did this, but one, the work that I do now, definitely once I'm in it, don't talk to me for another 3 days. But it still was one episode I was like, well, dang, I could have been did this, but I've been putting it off to where now I'm actually busy, and this is why I was supposed to schedule around this time, and still I'm having other videos lined up, but I want to make sure that I'm sticking to what I said when I agreed to move forward with this, and that was to hold true with my first introspective instinct, if that makes sense. Not like the surface level where I just think of doing it and I do it, but it's not leaving my head to the point where I know I have a responsibility to do or say something. And having this conversation was one of those things, especially before I released any other interviews and things of that sort. So with that being said, the conversation of today has to do with confrontation. Yeah. Oh shoot. Nah, for real. Yeah, man, we're gonna talk about confrontation. And this conversation, it can go either way just for the duality of what I've experienced and what I've known to be true for others. And always speaking from myself first, it's just a lot of the questions that I raised around confrontation, I just felt like I had to continue to think this through, because I am always trying to evolve within this space and understand what I need to be doing to experience the next level up, and what that even looks like or feels like. And boy, I had to start always from the beginning, trying to understand the foundation. And that just leads me to ask, like, what is the context? Like, if you're about to confront somebody in any regard, like, what's the context of the situation or the circumstance that you're confronting? What emotions are tied into those things? And seemingly most importantly, like, what are you going to physically do? Because if you're justified in the context, that's what leads you to perform the action. You feel me? So, in trying to grow from this, what do I need to be pulling away from the context to understand if this is an actual situation where I should be rightfully acting in those types of reactions? And that crossed my mind, those questions in particular, because I even got to thinking about, okay, well, what are some ways, like, why am I trying to grow from this? Well, because there have been situations where I can recognize the emotions I felt about confrontation that did not help or aid a situation. And even looking back, I knew it was stages in which I had to experience because it helped me understand that in addressing confrontation, I had to grow in the way that I perceived it and understood it to be. Like, I would get excited about confrontation. I'd be like, let's go. Like, let's pull A, let's pull B, let's pull C. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's find out what was really happening. And that was in a space in my life where I wasn't really walking the body expression that resonates with me. And it was like a masking technique because I have no problem addressing things. I have no problem having conversations about the things that I do, the reasons why I do them. Sometimes, I'm gonna be honest with you, I can't even explain in like appropriate English, human language, like why something, I'll just sit back and just watch it play out. Like, I wish I could describe the moments, like when no one is there and they cannot witness the feeling of being in a situation and knowing, like, no, like, even if I try to explain, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, even from experiencing that for myself, okay, how can I grow from this? I had to deviate from just the feel and attachment that came from the disassociation of what was happening in other places around me. And with that, like, I had to learn, like, it's not liberating. It's not a liberating act for all to have, certain types of confrontation. And not to say that's what I experience as well, but having adrenaline rush in that manner is not enjoyable for all, and all are not willing to express those types of things in the same ways. And because my focus was trying to grow to create a better environment for others, it was like, okay, I'm not even looking at this in the right way because I'm hurting. So my thing is, well, if I understand the context of the situation is coming from what I feel here, I also need to understand what is going on in between the situation that's occurring now, what happened prior to this situation, and what can be affected looking towards the future. And some things I'm just okay with. I'm just like, okay, well, I mean, I'm never going to deny the willingness to have a conversation. Now, how that conversation goes definitely is dependent on the emotion that has occurred before that conversation even happens. And to best deal with like not suppressing those emotions until a moment like that happens, or until that emotion is welled up, I really wanted to challenge myself to figure out, okay, how can I still be in this moment, feel everything I felt beforehand, while feeling everything that I'm feeling right now, while still managing those emotions, so that regardless of what occurs, I can stand by my actions and the things that I said as I move forward. And that's what really like helped me just be not necessarily confident, because I'm still learning my innate actions and responses. Like sometimes I even listen to myself talk as I'm talking to people, and I'm like, what the heck? Where did that come from? But trying to grow in confrontation, or get through confrontation and the things that surrounded it, asking that question and trying to literally walk through the solutions that I came to, it was like really profound for me. And I still try to improve every single day, because what I found in trying to dissect confrontation in itself, another question that came to my mind was, how is it addressed? Like, how does the situation present itself to you? And it's like, you feel me? Like, because it can go in so many different ways. I know for me, I had to understand what was occurring to figure out how to address it or confront it in a way, and not always negatively, but positively too. Like, I say confrontation, and sometimes confrontation has a negative connotation to it, and it's really not that. Like, literally, I'm not gonna look up the literal definition right now, but I understand confrontation to be the act of addressing something in general. Like it can be a tip of help, it can be a suggestion or a thought, idea, but conveying that to another to let it be known, it is a form of confrontation to me. That's what I understand it to be. So that's why I say it can go so many ways, because when you're looking at confrontation negatively, well then, yeah, definitely consider everything that's been said. Because at the end of the day, like, what's taking you out of that space? Whether it be your space of peace into a point where you want to respond physically to harm somebody, or out of the space of wanting to do so because of XYZ ABC that has happened. You feel me? Like, either way. Because you have to get through all of that to understand, like, how do you really want to deal with something to another person, regardless of what their gender may be, or how they identify, or what their pronouns are. How are you going to get this thought across without it becoming something physically? You know what I'm saying? And even in a good sense, like maybe you are trying to talk to somebody about something you admire about them or that you like on them, or just sharing your own appreciation for something in general. Sometimes people shy away from even doing that because maybe others in the room are quiet, you know what I'm saying, or nobody wants to walk up to somebody or get too close. But like, even in that way, what if the thing that you're thinking of saying is the exact phrase, sentence, emotion, gesture that they needed just to make sure they get by to the next day? I'm not saying change their life. I'm just saying the next day they'll be like, oh shit, like I probably wouldn't, like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm more willing to do this than I was the other day because I have something like this encounter to reflect on. So, I mean, I could really go on and on about this topic, and I might bring it back to go through this even further. But what I will say in this conversation, some takeaways, is the fact that people sometimes perceive me to be a chilling person. And I've gotten a variety of comments, but chilling doesn't mean you're not doing anything. It just means you're digesting your surroundings in a way to where you're not constantly experiencing anxiety or sadness or anger or any emotion in a hypersensitive way to where it could ruin your day or make you become stagnant and just not want to do anything. But we gotta do something, and I just want to keep going to reach my highest potential and help as many as possible. So with that being said, I'm gonna wrap it up for this episode. It's always a moment where I can just phase out and speak from the soul when I come onto this platform, and I appreciate that, regardless of what's happening around me. So thank you for everyone that's listening or watching, because we're in the holiday season and I just gotta give my gratitude. So I'll see y'all.